on the next episode of Sips, Suds, and Smokes.
I can't even spell whiskey, but I enjoy it.
Don't need to spell it. Just need to drink it. Open it and drink it. And if you can't open it, just do the pirate and smash the neck off, you know. Here's the whiskeys we're going to be discussing today. From Coppercraft, we have the Coppercraft Rye, we have the Coppercraft blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, and the Coppercraft straight bourbon whiskey. From Blue Run Spirits, we're very fortunate to have a pre-release media sample of their upcoming rye, which has not even been bottled yet. And then from Lucky 7 Spirits, we have the Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Holiday Toast, Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Jokester, Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Hold Up, and Lucky 7 Single Barrel Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Proprietor, barrel number 9.
We'll be right back after this break. Brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking host, the good old boys. And now it's sippin' time.
Hey, yeah, it's sipping time. Welcome to this Sips episode where everything good in life is worth discussing. As always, we are the best thing on at 2 a.m.
I'll never know. I'm asleep at that time.
Well, you should be. Only degenerates and crazy people are awake that late, you know.
I'm awake, but I'm having fun
Rest my case.
with other people.
Yeah, there you go.
Crazy people.
Crazy and degenerate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, calling us from the county stockade. Hey, do you got $500? Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, this is a 1 hour show.
Fact. That's a fact.
Actually, no, it's not. It's not.
It's
I'm
like
waiting for the
42 minutes,
government to come
right?
after. Yeah, 52 minutes if you take out the gratuitous commercial advertisements. So
Let's stretch it today then.
yeah, but yeah, I think we should just stretch it out. Why not? What the heck? Well, this is Made Man Bob joining me today, or Made Man Brent.
I kind of feel like I was tricked into coming here today. You said there would be like no scotch, and I guess you're right.
Just wait.
Just wait. No. There is no scotch. I see.
Just
it
wait.
now.
Not on this episode. And good old boy Harm.
I was promised debauchery. There is no debauchery today. Just whiskey.
You can't spell debauchery. There's no Q in debauchery. So, and there's the title of your episode. And good old boy Justin.
Good morning, Bob. Glad to be here, and I can't even spell whiskey, but I enjoy it.
Don't need to spell it. Just need to drink it. Open it and drink it. And if you can't open it, just do the pirate and smash the neck off, you know. Old Jack Sparrow thing. So our sip segments are all about wine, distilled spirits, tea, coffee, and pretty much anything that you can drink. And here's the whiskeys we're going to be discussing today. From Coppercraft, we have the Coppercraft Rye, we have the Coppercraft blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, and the Coppercraft straight bourbon whiskey. From Blue Run Spirits, we're very fortunate to have a pre-release media sample of their upcoming rye, which has not even been bottled yet. And then from Lucky 7 Spirits, we have the Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Holiday Toast, Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Jokester, Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Hold Up, and Lucky 7 Single Barrel Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Proprietor, barrel number 9. So we're going to have Justin tell us all about our SIPS ratings. Take it away, brother.
Today we managed to arrange a call-in with Clint Eastwood, and he's going to do our SIPS ratings for us.
Yeah, it's sad.
Could not be good.
I don't feel lucky.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Eastwood, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. I don't know why.
You know what this is? This is like if you lived in Munchkinland and there was a Clint Eastwood in Munchkinland, that would be the Clint Eastwood in Munchkinland in the movies.
I don't know why you're having me do these ratings, and there's no whiskey, but all right. So, 1 sip. Give me a glass of water to wash out my mouth.
Water.
I mean, he started out okay, but then it's
I just have a feeling it's not going to get any better.
Nope.
2 sips. Nice. But what else do you have?
Well, isn't that nice?
3 sips. Interesting. What was this again?
Interesting.
No. Dramatic pause didn't help.
he's still talking in the chair.
4 sips. Let's keep this secret to ourselves. Pour me another.
That's classified.
Well, this is like the bargain basement when he's not even talking to a chair. He's talking to an ottoman.
5 sips. Oh my, I was unaware anything could be this good.
Oh my goodness!
An ottoman at Big Lots. That's what he's
We were
talking
all unlucky today.
You
Yeah.
guys better send me
We lost
samples
count of those
next.
bullets.
Yeah.
We all got hit.
This is sips number 5. The most powerful sips in the world will easily blow your head clean off.
Like a 44 Magnum.
Oh, my God. All right, let's get away from him. Brent, why don't you tell us about
I
our
feel like
first
Clint
brand?
Eastwood did that because I made the
Oh, thanks, Bob. Thanks, Clint.
Dear
You know, but this
Was
first
that
one.
Clint Eastwood or Clint Howard? I'm not really sure.
So we're going to be talking about the Coppercraft Distillery. It was founded back in 2012 in Holland, Michigan. They are currently producing whiskey, gin, vodka, and rum, and we're the first Michigan distiller to offer canned cocktails. They are sourced.
That's a big thing now, man.
Well,
That
I
is
mean,
But, dude,
a big thing.
every company approaches me
Yeah.
weekly for that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like okay, I'm sitting wherever you're out and about. You bam, you get
And
your
they're
little
not like, you remember the lousy ones back in the 80s. I mean, there's some really good ones out there. So
Yeah, there are some very good ones, but I wonder what the shelf life is like. Let's see.
I don't know, but they're sourcing their aged whiskeys from various sources and are blending their whiskeys under the tutelage and assistance of renowned master blender Nancy Fraley.
genius.
Yeah, I heard she's pretty
Genius
good.
in the business.
You know, so-
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Nancy the Nose Fraley.
Pretty much,
the
yeah. She
nose.
is the American nose.
So this first one we're going to be tasting is the Coppercraft Rye whiskey. It's 45% ABV. It's 90 proof. This expression is a blend of 2+ year old sourced rye barrels. So the color on this one is a light. And this is your light copper color, closer to a newer penny than your older
I went with burnished copper.
burnished copper.
I used to
but
have a
it's-
penny, but the government took it away from me.
Yeah, so on the nose, I get some corn, vanilla, licorice. It's just a nice little pleasant nose. Add a little bit of water to it. Makes it pop a little bit. On the palate, I got clove, licorice, white pepper, corn. It's a nice mouthfeel. It's not bad. It's more of in your medium palate range of your mouth and stuff, and doesn't last a long time, as far as a palate wise goes. But it's very pleasant.
Yeah, for under 3-year-old rye, I thought this is actually pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of distilleries now coming out with their own products and starting to release them. The newer places, and so we've had a lot of 2- and 3-year-old whiskeys recently. And I thought this one shows great promise. It's definitely well put together. It definitely did benefit with just a drop of water. The nose definitely got much, much more
It
pronounced.
exploded with a
Yeah.
couple drops of water.
Yeah, I mean the licorice to me is a predominant flavor, of
And
this.
that really came out.
Yes,
The licorice in the nose came out huge. with
Yeah.
I
just
got
the
more
water in
clove
it.
than licorice, and you guys are killing me. Nobody mentioned floral notes.
Well,
As this thing breathes,
Yeah.
it's a bouquet
The
of
flowers are up in the tip, right in
Yeah.
the tip of the nose.
It's a bouquet of flowers, and then you get like all that vanilla cream he was talking about, and the spice is there. Brent's right. The licorice is there, but underneath, I get.
I said the
cinnamon
clove.
and
I said the clove and the white pepper. I mean, those were the spices that I picked up off of it.
I don't smell the pepper, but I got definitely on the palate.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
white pepper. Definitely clove.
Right. Yeah.
Not so much like all baking spice, more just clove,
Yeah.
more
Well, this is the other
licorice.
thing. I thought
It's leaning
the
toward
palate
that side.
itself was actually, now that it's had time to sit in the glass, it's gotten a little oilier, more viscous. Mm-hmm. It's freaking beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is such a young rye because it doesn't taste like it.
Yeah, once in a while you hit a good one when they're young, you know. I mean, and the thing is for me personally, I can, you know, a young rye, they tend to be a heck of a lot better at a younger age than a bourbon for me. I mean, you know, I can get a 2 or a 3 that I'm perfectly happy with, but a 2 or 3 year old bourbon usually not so much.
Yeah. Well,
I'll agree with you there.
you have a good blender, you know, then good things come.
Oh, she could have probably blended Kool-Aid pond water and come up with this. I mean, Nancy is huge in the industry and an amazing palate. I mean, the
And
work
she
that
has
she's
access
done.
to some really wonderful pond water too.
Yep. So she's really good. She's really good. I mean, she's working with a lot of companies now, but yeah, if you're out there and looking to set something up, there's a few consultants out there, and she's one of the ones at the top of the list. So,
Justin, what'd you think? You're just sitting there looking at us.
This started off kind of like bitter and closed, but air and water really opened it up.
yeah, it definitely made a difference. Well, we're going to go ahead and give the Coppercraft rye whiskey 3 sips.
Interesting.
It was interesting.
Yeah. So we're going to go on to our next whiskey, and we're going to have Harm tell us about that one.
Well, thank you, Bob. The Coppercraft blend of straight bourbon whiskeys is 50% ABV or 100 proof for those lawyers out there who can't do the math because it's not 33 1/3%. A blend of 4-year-old plus Coppercraft produced whiskey and 11-year-old plus sourced bourbon using the brandy blending method and proofing techniques, which I think Bob should have talked about this. I'm not quite sure what brandy blending and proofing techniques are, but I think that's marrying in vats. And it says right here it takes 3 months from barrel to bottle. So this does take a lot longer than just
Yeah, it's not just
blend.
pouring it all together and going, that's good. You give it a lot of time to marry, and yeah.
Nice. So they proofed it to 100. Most brandies are cognacs are proofed to 80. This is a beautiful amber color. The nose is brown sugar and red fruit and toasty oak. It's improved with air. Mm-hmm. And we did try this with and without water. The palate was quite oily and mouth coating. But what happened to me earlier when I first tasted is it really became too tannic. It was overpoweringly tannic. It was a little drying.
It still is that way.
Yeah.
And then I'm reapproaching it, yeah.
It's still that way. Yeah.
The barrel influence here is not
as
balanced.
much. Yeah, it has retreated just a little, but it's still very, very tannic forward.
You taste all that oak.
Water does not improve this.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's perfectly serviceable. It's just a little bit more astringent than my palate is.
Well, make
set
this
for.
into a cocktail whiskey then.
Oh, this would be great for a cocktail. I can think of a couple of cocktails that this would probably be perfect for.
I'm always up for an old fashioned.
If you're going if you're not going toward the sweet end of the palate, this would be perfect.
Yeah, and if they're using this for their canned cocktails, whether they could be using something like this.
Yep. And we'll be back. Hey, and we're back. We just finished discussing the Coppercraft blend of straight bourbon whiskeys.
and busting on Brent off the air.
Yeah, and laughing at Brent off the air because, heck, that's what we do.
That's what they do. Yes.
Decent little whiskey. And I think it would be well served in some cocktails, that are more towards the drier and, more bitter side as opposed to the sweet side kind of cocktails, something that's a little more savory.
Yeah.
I think it'd be perfectly fine. We're going to be rating that 2 sips.
Well, isn't that nice?
So let's move on to our next whiskey. And
You can tell us about
is
that one,
me.
Bob.
So this is the Coppercraft Straight Bourbon Whiskey. It's 48.5% ABV, 97 proof. Again, this is made with 4+-year-old sourced barrels and 11+-year-old sourced barrels. So the prior one was using 4-year-old-ish Coppercraft distilled product with 11-year source. This is 4-year source and 11-year source. And again, same blending techniques. It's got a really nice color to it, sort of a burnished bronze. On the nose, I get a little bit of cotton candy, a little bit of like sweet flowers, some vanilla, Yeah, very, very sweet nose. And on the palate, just a good, solid bourbon profile. I mean, there's vanilla, there's caramel.
There's a tropical fruit note.
There's definitely that, what we were discussing. I can't put my finger on one fruit. It's more like a tropical fruit salad kind of thing. It's like a blend. But it's very fruity on the front palate. I get the more classic on the back end. I get more of the caramel, the brown sugar, a little bit of almost molasses. Nice. What do you think, Brent?
This is very well balanced. Is the word I want to use for this.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's the word I used, and you all copied me.
we
you can't spell balance.
I can't spell anything.
And you hate to judge them. You want to judge everything on its own.
Born with the sense God gave the common dog.
But this is you don't want to judge them. You want to judge each one individually and things. But when you look at this is the better of the three that we had, and we kind of had them out of order. I think number 2 should have been number. If we would have gone in order of, but we don't know what the order is going to be when we taste.
Yeah, we're tasting blind.
Right, we're tasting them blind.
We're tasting visually impaired.
Very visually impaired.
I think honestly, I think this is the best of the three, and I think we did it in the right order. Always go out on top,
But
right.
This is the way I really love this. This is the type of whiskey you like. It's got everything you need, and it's done well.
Yeah.
And and it comes in a great bottle. We didn't mention the bottle on the thing.
Their packaging is very, very nice.
Is really nice. It's got a nice thick bottom, sturdy bottle of some embossing on the sides of the, and stuff with the name, and it looks beautiful. It's good, so.
It'd be a nice addition to your bar, regardless.
Right, right.
Yeah, no, I think they're doing good stuff up in Michigan. What do you think, Justin?
So at the beginning, I got like some floral notes, and those went away with air and water. And the finish started out normal, fell off quick, but after time, somehow
the finish got longer.
Recovered itself.
It did.
I've never seen that before, but here we are.
Yeah, like I said, when we did it before we even put water in it, it started off and then there was like a drop in the finish, but then it just stopped there. It didn't drop off. It just went down to one leg and then just coasted. So,
this really recovered with the air.
Yeah, well done. So we're going to give the Coppercraft Straight Bourbon Whiskey 3 sips. So we're going to have Justin tell us about our next whiskey. So let's hear it.
Blue Run Spirits has been making a name for themselves of late, winning the Best Small Batch Bourbon 11 years and Best Single Barrel 11 years and older, Best Single Barrel, and Best Bourbon at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Started by CEO Mike Montgomery and a few of his friends, they had a vision for their brand and knew how to achieve it, but they needed a little help. So they sought out the consulting services of the legendary Jim Rutledge.
Love Jim.
Helped source out some of the best bourbons they could find. Today, we're fortunate to have gotten some samples of their yet-to-be-released rye whiskey. The samples we were sent are 54.5 alcohol by volume, or 109 proof, and are 3.5 years old. When this is ready for release, it is bottled to 47.5 alcohol by volume, or 95 proof. So they gave us more powerful stuff, but you just get the notes.
The booster rocket stuff.
It was a copper color. I got a nose of vanilla, Elmer's glue, raisins, and cedar.
What the heck?
The Elmer's glue is not a put down. It just reminds me of that childhood smell with arts and crafts, which is always turned out awful.
Why are you sniffing glue? Well,
I have a 7-year-old
when I was a child,
and my 7-year-old actually made a project yesterday morning with Elmer's glue. It does not smell like Elmer's glue. You need to revisit your glue sniffing days.
Okay, I'll go back.
He is confusing this with the glue he used to sniff in college.
Right.
That came in that little metal tube. Yeah.
So it's well balanced, wood and vanilla, and there was that strange note which I thought was Elmer's glue that I couldn't place.
I think it's that plumber's putty that Bob always talks about.
Okay, that could be. I have to smell plumber's putty.
A young rye sometimes has that, but maybe you're getting that, but I'm not getting it. But whatever. I'm just throwing stuff out at you now.
And then at the end, I got a dill finish, and The finish is long, but it was all side palate for me. But all that being said, I enjoyed it. What did you think, Brent?
Okay, for this, I was expecting a rye one in the nose, and everything I get on this is just a sugar bomb. I get vanilla, caramel, brown sugar, just pure sweetness on the nose. Everything on the nose is sweetness to me. But then when you actually taste it, then you get some clove, there's a little bit of a tobacco leaf, some pepper to it. So it balances out more with the rye flavors that you're expecting in your palate. I didn't have it on one side. I mean, I got a nice mouthfeel with it. More mid palate for me, but it's very, very another one, very pleasant. But this is above standard for me to drink this.
I got floral notes at first. Again, you guys, maybe it's something wrong with me because I'm tasting flowers today.
Oh, there's plenty wrong with
There's
it, but I
tons
don't know
wrong.
about
That's
that.
true.
Yeah.
I got rose petals right up front, and then it went to your tobacco and your citrus and your baking spices. But right up front was rose petals.
I think this for 3.5 years, this is a fantastic rye. I haven't had one at this age.
Yeah, if I had to judge it,
that's this good.
If I had to judge it on the nose, I would never ever put it in a rye.
God, no
way would I say
the nose.
rye.
No, definitely not.
Then the nose is.
And if you ask me the age, I'd be probably thinking 8+.
I was going to say 5 or 6.
Yeah, I was going to say 6 years on the.
Yeah, I mean it's just clove and cinnamon and tobacco leaf.
Beautiful effort.
Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't know Jim Rutledge was making this, I would still love this.
He's not making them. He's helping them source it and putting stuff together and everything. So, helping them blend barrels and whatnot. But
give me some.
Not sure.
When can we get this in Florida?
I don't know where they got it from. I asked, and they were contractually they're not allowed to disclose the source. So, but wherever they got this from, I hope there's more of it on that same rack right behind this one because this was fantastic. Well done, guys at Blue Run. They've bottled a lot of higher aged products, a bunch of bourbons, I think 11, 12, 13, 14 years old in the past, and some of those have won some pretty big awards as well. We haven't had any of those yet. They sent me this because they were pretty much out of the older stock right now and said, well, give this a try. Let us know what you think. It's not quite we don't think it's ready to get out yet, but let us know what you think, and we'll circle back later and I think it's ready.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's ready now.
Yeah, honestly, right now, I don't think I'd give it another, 6 or 8 months because, who knows what happens. It could make a bad turn. Get it in the bottle now.
Something that's this good doesn't really make a bad turn too much at this age, kind of.
Yeah, I seriously doubt it would happen, but
I just wonder about when they source it down to 95 proof.
Well, we're doing the same thing, adding our water.
Well, yeah, but we don't. Yeah. That's not that much. We only add
I'm
a couple
not adding
drops.
that much water.
Right, I'm not right. Just a couple drops.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they may want to consider cast strength. I'm just saying. Well, we're going to be rating the Blue Run Spirits rye whiskey, 3.5 year pre-release sample. Well deserved 4 sips.
Not that you can get this, guys.
Yeah,
not yet.
Yeah, it's soon. By the time this episode comes to air, they'll be pretty close to having this ready, I believe. So. Keep your eyes out there. You'll see the odd Blue Run bottle with a bourbon, but keep your eyes out for the rye because it's fantastic.
I enjoyed it.
All right, so we're going to move on to our last brand of the day here, which is Lucky 7. They were founded by Michael Lahale, I'm guessing, and John Powell's best friends since their college years.
Pals, if you will.
Yeah, they could be pals.
They could be pals.
Could be buddies. Bosom buddies.
These two, show.
Yeah, great show.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, and Peter Scolari. Awesome. Yeah. And what's her name? The blonde girl that's married to Dan Aykroyd.
I don't know that. Come on.
Donna Dixon.
Move on.
Donna Dixon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. See, now you want to take time, don't you? So these two share a common bond of bourbon and cinema. In fact, the Lucky 7 namesake is derived from the infamous Stage 7 on a Warner Brothers lot where some of the greatest movies in cinema were filmed, such as Casablanca and My Fair Lady. The warehouse side stage produced so many award-winning films that the industry started calling it the Lucky 7 stage. With the help of blender Ashley Barnes, co-founder of the Spirits Group, another very talented blender, Lucky 7 carefully sources and masterfully blends these bourbons for each release. In keeping with the movie theme, this is very cool. Each bottle has a functional movie ticket on the front label. So if you peel that ticket back and scan the QR code, you get to view a little short film on your phone, which sort of lines up to the name of each release.
Yeah. Now you don't have to worry because the ticket doesn't come off; it just goes back, and then you can just reseal it up, and it keeps the same cool look on it.
Of course, Brent had to mess with that while we were tasting whiskey. Brent has got his phone out scanning QR codes.
Yeah, he's busy watching movies instead of watching this.
Can you blame me? I can watch a movie and drink at the same time. I've been known to do that.
Been doing it as long as I know you.
I prefer popcorn and a drink.
Yeah, exactly. Well, our first whiskey from them is the Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Holiday Toast. It's 57.5 ABV, 115 proof. Mash bill is 72 corn, 18 rye, and 10% barley. It's 4 years old, which I can't find
that hard to
stunning
believe.
that it's 4 years old.
That is hard to believe.
This expression is finished in a new heavy toasted barrel.
Super heavy. Look at that color.
Yeah, the color on it, it's a
As I say this to the people listening on the radio and on podcasts.
Yeah.
Look at the color.
Yeah. Well, smell this too. Yeah. It's a very dark copper. I mean, it's got some serious color to it. And for 4 years old, I'm guessing it's the secondary treatment in that toasted barrel that maybe gave it a little extra push. You would think that a charred barrel would give it more.
Number 4 or 5 char.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But this one on the nose, they named it correctly when they said holiday toast. It's like Christmas in a bottle. It's all baking spices like mulled cider, cinnamon and nutmeg, and gingerbread, and just a hint. I mean, in their tasting notes, they've got pine, and I do get sort of an evergreen, not a real heavy pine tar, but like an evergreen forest kind of.
I didn't get the gingerbread at all until it got air.
Yeah, just a note.
Now I'm getting the gingerbread.
The gingerbread's all in the back. And then on the palate. Hold on.
Yep.
Cinnamon, nutmeg. It's got a little bit of a sort of a candy note to it. The caramel is huge. Again, it's like a Christmas fruitcake in a glass. And the finish on it.
Only better than any fruitcake you've ever had, though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A real good fruitcake.
I lived in New Orleans. There was these there was these monks that used to make fruitcakes.
They soak them in the alcohol.
Yeah. I would go out of my way for those fruitcakes.
That was a different fruitcake there.
Yeah, this is like, if you've ever had like a really heavy spiced gingerbread, like a soft, spicy gingerbread, this thing's fantastic. I'm loving this. What do you think, Brent?
Yeah, one thing about this is the finish doesn't quit.
Yeah, it just goes on.
If you're going to have something and you want to remembrance of the holidays and the baking and the holidays and stuff, this is it. I mean, and once you drink it, it's like, well, I don't have to go back to that for like ever because it does not stop.
I want to go back to it.
Oh, I want to go back to it.
It stays with you. I understand what you're trying to say, but you were insulting the whiskey brand.
No, I was not.
I don't want to go back to that.
I don't want to go back. I know. I just have.
He hit it. He quit it.
Okay, it's not okay. Maybe I rephrase. I don't need to go back because it's still there.
You hit a nerve because that's what Harm's wife said after the honeymoon.
Right.
So I've had enough of that.
Right. I don't need to go back.
Don't need to go back to that ever again. Yeah, Hawaii was nice, but it wasn't that good. Yeah, okay.
And things, but yeah, the baking spices on this. It's all about the baking spices. Yeah. It's all about those
spicy ginger cookies, spicy fruit cake, and
I'm so glad they sent us a good size sample.
And it just keeps going and keeps going.
This bottle may
I can't believe this is 4 years old. I literally cannot believe this is 4 years old.
They sent you something.
Well, it's a minimum of 4 years old. They can put
that's
anything they want in there 4 and older.
This has to be older. That's gorgeous.
And that toasted barrel, I think, probably made all the difference.
Well, I'm guessing that's probably where we're getting all the spice from.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get.
Can you use toasted French oak in bourbon? You can't use that, can you?
No. Well, it doesn't say French
oak. For finishing, you can, right? Yeah. No, I know that. I'm just saying because I generally associate spice like this with French oak versus American.
I mean, if you did something like that, I believe under the TTB regulations, you would have to say, bourbon finished in a toasted French oak cask,
Right.
or bourbon finished in a port wine cask. I think if you switch it
I
out,
generally associate this type of spice or this level of spiciness with French oak versus American oak.
yeah, and again, you get that when you get a toasted French oak cask, in some scotches,
Which I love.
But you generally don't get this level of spice in a scotch out of a toasted barrel. I mean, this is just
No, it's gorgeous.
Again, I keep going back. It reminds me of the first release or two of that High West Midwinter Night's Dram. It's just it's like compressing Christmas into a bottle. But the thing I can't believe is I still can't believe that it's
how
only
you can
4
do
years
that?
old.
Santa fits in every
Blender,
blender. If you don't have
Santa fits in every hole.
Even
Boy,
if you
this
don't have
just took
chimney,
a-
Santa somehow
Yes.
gets in, right?
Boy, oh boy, Christmas must have been really interesting at your house, buddy. Holy cow!
That's why I love playing Santa.
This explains a lot now. Yeah,
That's why I love playing Santa.
suddenly for the first time
Sit on my lap, little
in
girl.
all these years, he's starting to. I'm starting to actually understand him now. I mean, I'd go give the poor son of a gun a hug, but he'd want me to sit on his lap, and that ain't happening.
Tell me what you want for Christmas, Bob.
Nothing you got. So. All right, so we're going to be rating the Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Holiday Toast, a well-deserved 4 sips.
That's classified.
It was well deserved.
It's definitely. So we got 3 more whiskeys to do. We have time for this?
Yeah, we got 3 more
All
whiskeys
right.
to do. We're almost a commercial break as it is. So,
All right.
yeah, I still can't believe that's 4 years old. So,
No, I think they lied to us. That's
Another thing with these is these come in another nice packaging. I mean, I think some of these newer brands and stuff are elevating their packaging.
well, I think they're getting the marketing companies involved a lot more deeply at the beginning. At least the really well-funded operations can, and the bottles, the packaging, the labels, and then something like this where you have like an interactive sort of label thing.
Right.
It's I think it's sort of part of the new dynamic in the whiskey business.
Right. I mean, the whole back is like a gold diamond pattern, and it's a beautiful thing.
Well, we'll be back. Hey, and we're back, and we're discussing some fantastic whiskeys from the folks at Lucky 7. So we're going to have Harm tell us about our next whiskey from them.
Thanks, Bob. Our next whiskey is the Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Jokester. I don't know where this name comes from. It's 47.5% ABV.
He's a
95
joker.
proof.
He's a smoker.
I did see the
He's
movie.
a midnight toker.
I did see the movie.
That's
of the
the Joker.
Jokester.
It's the Jokester. Anyway, the mash bill is 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. Maybe it's that barley that makes it the Jokester. It's a 6-year-old whiskey, they say. It's got this beautiful golden color, verging towards amber. The nose at first was very closed up. I didn't get much of a nose. The palate was all about dried fruit. And when we added water, it exploded. Just a few drops of water, and the nose just came out. It was just dried cherries for me, vanilla, and a nuttiness came out with the air. Is that pecans or walnuts? What's that? Pecans, right?
Pecans.
Pecans.
No,
Yeah, it's pecans.
there's no pecan here.
So it's like candied pecans and cherries, and the dried fruit comes out on the palate still. I got quite a bit more vanilla and creme brulee. And again, the water improved the palate, too. I'm going to take another sip right now.
Harm's craving dessert right now.
I'm diabetic, and this is the best I can get. And this is pretty damn good, by the way. This is mouth coating with wonderful vanilla, brown sugar, a little bit of butter, long finish. I just freaking love this.
It is nice.
I don't want to hear from you, Brett. Justin,
I know that.
Justin, tell me what you think. Well, not that I really want to hear from you either.
Justin's been sniffing glue. Justin's been sniffing glue.
sniffing Elmer's glue.
Yeah. But it hasn't affected my palate. That's the good news. So I got like vanilla, brown sugar, and a spruce note.
Spruce. We got on the other one. I didn't get this one as much.
Well, I got the licorice instead of a spruce. I guess it's kind of.
See, I didn't get as much spice as you guys are getting. It's more flowers and nuts. And definitely dried fruit. Lots of dried fruit. So go ahead.
Well, I ate barbecue before I came here, so that's just going to bring out spiciness.
Barbecue.
Yeah.
At
You're
1
not supposed
o'clock
to
in
eat
the
before you
morning.
drink, Justin.
At 1
That's how
o'clock.
you can't fall down afterwards then.
Barbecue at 1 o'clock in the morning. What are you thinking?
Focus on your job, son. Come on.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I got like the dried fruit.
And
notes
there's
on the
Brent's.
end.
That'll be in the New York Times tomorrow. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And Brent, I hate admitting you're right, but the spice with the air, the spices come out more. Damn it, Brent. So tell me, what do you think? I was like waxing rhapsodic.
Well, we're gonna wait for Justin to finish his palate there.
Oh, I thought he was done when he said, "Yeah, it's pretty good." And that,
Oh yeah, okay.
Done.
that's one more word than we normally get out of him. Did he tell you it was brown?
3 whole words. Greedy. You're greedy,
he
Brent.
He has not mentioned the word brown once today.
Okay, what color is it, Justin?
It's brown. Drink it down.
See, there you go.
There you go.
We got a little rule back home. If it's brown, drink it down.
There you go.
Love it.
Yeah, this is the whole toasted nuts, that vanilla, that dry. That it's not a fruit cake, but it's you get those, but it's but you get the dried fruits there. So
I don't know what it is. This one reminds me more of a rye. It's only 10% rye, but it's got so much spice to it. And because you said it to me, and the
I
spice
know.
coming
Well,
out.
it
Power
does.
of suggestion.
It does, but power suggest exactly. So
Happens all the time.
I'm going to suggest that you drink more of it. How's that suggestion?
Yeah.
That's a good
We
suggestion.
suggest you buy
I'll take you up on that.
Bob, what do you think about this one?
Look, this isn't a Romulan labor camp. I don't have to answer your questions. I don't give a damn what you think.
I thought it was.
How many lights are there, Bob?
I thought it was fantastic. There's one light. Yeah,
4 lights, Bob.
But 6 years old, though. I mean, you got to think of this, and you don't want to compare things.
I think they're lying to us about the age. That first one didn't taste like a 4-year-old. This
Well, I
does
can
not
tell
taste
you,
like a 6-year-old.
this one was the first one that when we tasted all 4 of them, the first one I put water in, and the water, the nose quadrupled.
Well,
with
it
water.
needed it. I didn't
a
really
drop.
enjoy it without the water.
Just a drop, but you just put a little bit in, and the nose just took off. And again, licorice, fruitcake.
The nose on this one was kind of muted without the water. I thought it was
Completely.
mute, and as far as the nose, not the palate, but as far as the nose goes.
Yeah, toasted nuts and dried fruit. It's got a creaminess to it in the front of the palate, and along the front of your palate and your teeth. It's got a great mouth coat to it. Again, fantastic whiskey. I'm real impressed with what they've got here. So we're going to be rating the Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Jokester, a well-deserved 4 sips.
That's classified.
So let's go to Brent and see what he thinks about the next one. So far, 2 for 2.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can keep that roll going.
Don't say roll around harm. We'll have to listen to that Alabama junk again.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
All right, look.
Okay, this
football
is
season's over, so I won't
dice.
say roll tide.
Okay, this is dice. This is more of a. So this one is the Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon, the Hold Up. So I did not watch the film on this one, but I kind of imagine it after the first couple.
It's a very interesting silent film from Czechoslovakia from 1917. It's awesome. You'll like it.
I don't think so.
I don't think you'd understand it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could explain it to you, but you wouldn't understand
Well, it's
it
in
anyway.
subtitles, and the subtitles are in Lithuanian, so that's not going to work for you,
Google Translate, buddy.
It was
All
an
day.
early Fellini film, so.
Yep. So this one's 50% ABV. It's 100 proof.
And we won't hold that against it.
No, we're not going to hold it against it, and it doesn't say anything about it being bonded or anything. But it's it's close to that. But the mash bill is 74% corn, 18% rye, 8% malted barley. It's 12 years old. So color of this one,
Like my raincoat.
I know, color of this one's a nice dark copper, a beautiful color. Now on the nose, I have never ever had a blueberry note on a nose before.
Yeah.
And I get it on this one. It's like the first thing I get.
On wine, sure, but not on whiskey.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. On a bourbon or a whiskey, I've never had a blueberry nose before. And the first thing I get.
Oh, I've seen him so drunk he's had a blueberry nose.
Oh,
Is that Veruca salt?
That was more like a cherry
that
nose.
was his whole.
Was that Veruca in
Yeah.
Willy Wonka?
Willy Wonka, yeah. But that's what I get first thing.
No,
blueberry.
no. Violet Beauregard. Violet Beauregard turned into blueberry. Veruca Salt went down the thing with the golden laying yeast. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. What do you do when your kid is a brat? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is nothing like that, thank God.
So what does Willy Wonka think of this whiskey? That's really...
Yeah.
What would Willy do?
But, so, after the blueberries...
What would Willy do?
I don't want to say it, but it fit in every hole.
Yeah. So this one, on the palate, I get blueberries on the palate as well.
It's really disturbing to watch, Harms.
Yeah.
You got to think about you when you're in public,
Yeah. When I'm mentioning Oompa Loompas and his mind goes that way, it really scares the hell out of me.
Yeah, and I get the other note that I wouldn't think that would go together with this is I get dill on this on the palate.
Yeah. Yes.
So I mean, kind of when you're thinking blueberry and dill, and you're thinking, how could that go together at all?
It's some sort of Swedish monstrosity. They put dill in everything.
Yeah, but this one works. I mean, this one
blueberry
really
muffin and pickles.
This one really comes out. You get some other fruit notes. You got some some plums and. A little bit of earthy kind of, like a mossy kind of thing to it as well. But it's beautiful. I enjoy this.
Interesting as hell. I don't know if I'd go with beautiful. It's very interesting.
It's like finding a wild blueberry bush somewhere out in the woods.
Yeah. And this is going to be
stuffing your mouth.
When we talk about it. When you talk about like a Geeks whiskey or Geeks bourbon, this is going to fit into that category.
I'll give you that 100%. You're right.
This is going to fit right. This is not a
classic profile, but it's interesting as hell.
Yeah, right. Because when you say I'm going to put these together, it just there's no way that's going to work.
Because these herbal and spice notes should not work together, but they work.
Yeah, it does, and it works.
Yeah,
immensely
it's earthy. It's herbal, as in cooking herbs.
I said spice. I mean herbal and fruity notes. Yeah. They're just so disparate, and they work together. I'm surprised.
Yeah, and I get a good amount of like toasted nuts on the palate, like maybe like Brazil nuts.
No, I don't get Brazil nuts. Maybe I don't know. Now you're confusing me, Bob. I don't want to think about your nuts.
It's not walnuts.
It's not pecan. It's not walnut. Could be. I think it's closer to almond, but you said
a little bit.
Could be almond.
I'm thinking a little bit of a little bit of a candied almond.
You get that sort of that nuttiness to it, and I mean, fantastic.
Like a candied almond kind of thing, a candied bourbon almond. It kind of comes through a little bit. Justin, what do you think?
You haven't said a word, Justin. You're just looking at us like we're strange.
Well, because we are.
Well, I'd say water did not help this. It was much more, the notes were much more pronounced before, or it could have been air. I got like light brown notes.
Yeah.
Can you taste light brown?
I can smell it.
Your opinion,
can't taste it. Brown sugar.
I'm like brown at the table.
Brown sugar now. Brown sugar.
I'm smelling Harmeet. That's what it is. And it's interesting how it all works together.
Wait, he expanded on the color. It's not just brown.
It's light brown.
His boys learned some adjectives.
You know what? I was just thinking about this whiskey. There's a note here that doesn't match with anything else.
His
roasted peaches.
His
birthday
birthday was this week. I'm thinking he might have got a thesaurus for a present.
Yeah.
That was your hope.
That's the best dinosaur, the Saurus. I love it.
Yeah, it's much better than that Velociraptor.
Yeah.
They come for you.
The thesaurus talks too much, though.
Yeah.
It's
very wordy.
Did anybody get
goes
peach on this?
and on.
I did not get
saying the same thing over and over again.
I did not get peach, but let me go back to it because
I had peach written down here. And
I don't know. Let's see. Are you laying on the floor and all of us ignoring you? Then you haven't had a stroke. No. Yeah. Don't turn and look at him. Just ignore him.
He just wants attention.
This is our shot. Yeah, he does this.
Walk it off, Harm.
When mommy doesn't pay attention to him, this is what he does. So
just walk it off.
All right, so we're going to give the Lucky 7. Which one was this?
The Hold Up.
The Hold Up.
The Lucky 7 Kentucky Straight Bourbon. The Hold Up. Well deserved 4 sips.
Very well deserved.
Classified.
Yeah.
If for nothing else, just interesting factor alone. I mean, it's a great whiskey, but
definitely
really
like
interesting.
Brent said, it's a geek's whiskey, right?
Yeah. Well, gee, looking around this table. No one.
They had our address.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go to our last one. We're going to have Justin tell us about that one.
Our next whiskey is the Lucky 7 Single Barrel Kentucky Straight Bourbon, a.k.a. the Proprietor. Barrel number 9. It's 57.95% alcohol by volume, or 115.9 proof. And thank God they did the math for me.
Yes.
72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. The color was a medium brown.
It's a rich, deep amber. Go ahead.
Water helped this. And the nose, I got oak first, then some brown sugar and vanilla notes. The palate was warm and inviting, and it followed through with the nose, also with vanilla and oak. And the finish was a long, oaky finish. And what did you think, Harm?
I freaking love this whiskey. It reminds me of cake and brown butter. This is a beautiful, rich vanilla cake, and it's covered in melted butter. It's been browned.
Well, it's like you've had brown butter cookies before, right? I mean, this is a brown butter cookie.
Yes, 100%. And there's some dried fruit here. There's some cherry. The palate is chewy. There's a bit of tobacco on the palate, the mid palate. It's oily and mouth coating. And the finish is just huge. I don't want to taste this ever again, right, Brent? I don't have to ever taste this again.
Yeah,
I've had it once. I'll never eat it.
You know why you're never going to taste it again? Because that bottle's going home with me, and you haven't come over to the house in a while.
I can't make your Monday night meetings, man.
On Monday, I'll feed you if you come over.
This one, everything you said about it, but the only thing you need to say about it is, damn,
it's brown.
Yeah.
Damn,
it's brown.
Yeah, I mean this one, you take it's a 12-year-old, which I don't think was mentioned earlier, but just lovely. I mean,
stunning.
Right, stunning. I mean,
this is a single barrel, so there's not a lot of them out there.
So
but
we're tasting 8 whiskeys now, and we've got to record another episode a little later, and that's another 8 whiskeys. I'm not pouring any of this out. This is not going in the sink.
We have 8 sitting in front of us right now, sitting in Glencairn's, little fancy ones with the show logo on it and everything. And this one is 9 shades darker than anything else on the table.
And every drop is going down my gullet. I'll be taking that bottle. We'll be fighting for the bottle later.
Yeah, this is a fantastic barrel.
Oh, wow. Brent, you were saying, what were you saying about the finish? I didn't hear.
The finish, it doesn't end.
You don't have to taste it again? Is that it?
In an hour, I'll come back to it.
Well, you don't have to taste it again, because once you taste this, trust me, you will remember it.
In an hour, I'll come back to it, because that's when I need to go back and revisit it, because it lasts that long.
It's like gorgeous. This is the kind of finish, like they say Louis the 13th when you sip Louis, it should last 30 minutes on your palate.
I'm just thinking, thank God that when they tasted this, they were probably thinking the same thing as us. We're not blending that one in.
Yeah, that's why this is a single barrel, right?
That one's going to be a single barrel.
Bob, what did you think? Did you give us tasting notes?
It was fantastic. It's just like we said, brown butter cookies, brown butter cookies, brown butter cookies. Huge palate. Just overwhelming. Fantastic whiskey. 5 sips.
Yep.
Oh my God.
5 sips, which we don't give out 5 often. 5
this is a unanimous
well deserved.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
and
unanimous
usually if
5.
we do, it's by committee. This is unanimous.
Yeah.
So. Well, that's all the time we have today. We hope you enjoyed this episode. You can catch all of our episodes where you found this one, as well as on terrestrial and satellite radio, and online at iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, CBS Radio, Radio.com, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, pretty much any place you can listen to a podcast. The easiest way to find this show on your phone is to ask Alexa, Siri, Google, or Sybil, or whoever the lady is that talks back to you. Play podcast, Sip, Suds, and Smokes.
My wife talks back to me all the time, though.
Yeah. Well, I would too if I was married to you.
So, how many radio stations are we on now?
Over 250. We love your feedback. You can reach us online at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com. And our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter every day at Sip Suds and Smokes, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news. You can also interact with the thousands of other fans on those platforms. You can also check us out on Instagram at Sip Suds and Smokes and at Made Man Bob. Do us a favor, take the time to rate this episode if you can. It's a big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well. I want to thank our co-hosts for joining us today. Thank you, Brent.
You know, sometimes it's nice to be in the basement. Today's one of those days.
Once in a while, you get lucky. Blind pig finds an acorn once in a while.
Lucky 7, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you, Harm.
You know, Bob, I don't always mean it, but thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you don't mean it now either.
Today I mean it.
Yeah.
Does internet porn know you're cheating on it?
Yeah. And thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Bob. Great day in the basement.
Yeah, it wasn't too shabby.
Did anybody put water in this whiskey? I didn't put a drop in it.
What? No, I'm afraid to mess it up.
Water.
Well, for Sip Suds and Smokes, this is Made Man Bob. Thank you for joining us. Remember, life is too short to drink bad whiskey. And we didn't have that problem today.
Not today. Nope. Not today.
This has been a one-tan hand production of Sip Suds and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.